Hi, I'm Danessa Myricks, and I want to help you take the guesswork out of choosing your perfect eyeshadow shade. Not only that, I want to show you how you can choose those shades based on your unique eye color and your unique eye shape. Are you ready? Let's do it. So the first thing I like to do before approaching any eye and choosing any shades is to ask myself a few questions. The first question would be, is there anything about that eye shape that is distracting or needs to be addressed? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, does your eye sag down like this? Are you like a very sleepy cat? Do you have puffiness on your eyes? Maybe areas where the skin folds over and touches your lash line? Do you have a very broad brow bone? Does it protrude a little bit? Or do your eyes in general have a little bit of protrusion? Do you feel like maybe your eyes are maybe too close together? Or on the other hand, are they too far apart? I know this may sound silly and it may seem that it'll be complicated to fix these things, but I can tell you that using your eyeshadows and placing them perfectly will help all of that become camouflage. Are you interested in learning about that? All right, well, let me give you a few tips. The first thing to know is that you're going to use the depth of the skin tone to help guide you on how to choose your shades. The reason being is that once you identify how your skin tone relates to your eyeshadow colors, it makes it easy to figure out which ones are going to help you reshape and restructure the shape. Now, a few things you should know. Any shade that is lighter than your skin tone is going to help that area come forward, maybe protrude out a little bit, be more prominent. It's also going to be the first area that people pay attention to. So lighter areas will bring things forward, they'll appear a little bit larger, and also it'll be the focus. Now, if you choose a shadow tone that is deeper than your skin tone, well, deeper shading, it creates camouflage. It actually helps create structure. It also is a way to reshape very, very easily. So deeper shading will make things look smaller. It'll also help pull things away or bring them closer together. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that. The third thing to think about is the finish of your eyeshadow. Is it matte? Does it have a lot of sparkle or a little bit of sheen? The thing to remember is that anytime there's a bit of reflection, it's going to cause things to kind of pop forward. All of the attention will go there. So wherever you put something that's shimmery, know that that area is going to be the main point of focus. Now with those three concepts, it becomes really, really, really easy for you to figure out where you should put the color and where you should put those textures. So now let's talk a little bit about how these things really change the shape. Everyone can benefit from very neutral shades in their eyeshadow collection. These neutral shades make it very easy to navigate around the eye and restructure the eye. Here's an example of a palette of neutral shades. You see we have some soft beiges, we have some rich browns, we have our black tones. These are tones that work very beautifully to shape and structure. Now remember I mentioned that you should use your skin tone as a baseline for how you choose a shade that works perfect for you? Well, if I were to use myself as an example, my skin tone falls more into this grouping of shades. You'll see that there are shades that I can pick out that are close to my skin tone, deeper than my skin tone, and lighter than my skin tone. So using this palette, I can choose a lighter tone, maybe to open up an area where I want there to be more attention on my eye, or even sweep lighter tones like this across my brow bone to bring more attention to my eye shape, to my brow bone, and even bring out my eyebrow. Shades like this rich deep brown or this black will be great shades for me to use to add contrast around my eye and make it look more dramatic, or maybe pull my eye outward or even closer together. Another concept that'll help you figure out exactly where to put your eyeshadow placement is to think about how dramatic you want this look to be. So as an example, If I wanted just a soft smolder, maybe for daytime, a date for lunch, or coffee with a friend, I may add this rich brown around my eye. So it creates a little bit of intensity, but it's not so dramatic. But if it's Friday night, or it's a real date, I'm having dinner or going out to dance, I'll use this black and add drama all around my lash line to give it a little bit more impact. So all of these shades can work, but you'll choose the intensity of the shade, whether lighter or darker, depending on how dramatic you want the overall look to be. Here's a concept that you can write down. It's super simple, but really effective in choosing which tone to use to restructure your eye shape. I like to call it the pulling concept. Your eye will pull in the direction of the deepest shading. Here's an example. If you want to create a cat eye, for instance, you're going to pick a tone deeper than your skin tone and place that in the direction you want your eye to go. So if I want my eye to pull out like a cat, that means my deeper tones should go around the outside of my eye so it will pull my eye in that direction. Here's another example. Let's say you think your eyes need to be pulled closer together because you have a lot of space between your eyebrows and your eyes. Well, you can choose a shade that's deeper than your skin tone and place that in the inner corners of the eye, whether it be sweeping it across the entire eye or just putting it in the inner corners. That deeper shade will pull your eyes closer together. Does this make sense? It's pretty simple, right? So again, just think deeper shading pulls. So wherever you put your deeper shading, it's gonna pull your eye in that direction. Well, let's imagine you have droopy eyes. So if your eyes droop down like this, you wanna use deeper shading to pull them up. So if I wanna pull my eyes up here, that's where my deeper shading should be, right inside here. Deeper shading will pull my eyes up. Deeper shading also works really well to camouflage. So if you're someone who maybe your eyelids kind of pull forward, you have a bit of protrusion, or maybe you have a heavy fold or a heavy crease in your eye, you can use deeper shading to camouflage those things. Now, it doesn't have to be a dark shade, it just has to be deeper than your skin tone. So wherever you have that area that you want to camouflage, you just choose a shade that's deeper than your skin tone and brush it right over that area, and voila, it's completely camouflaged and the attention gets pushed away from those areas. Now on the opposite side of that, if there's an area on your eye that you really want to bring attention to, think about lighter than your skin tone or shades that have a little bit of reflection, because all the attention will go there. So as an example, let's just say you have hooded eyes and most of your eye is covered by that hooding. Well, you want to put all the attention into this area because that's where you want everyone to focus on. So using our palettes as an example, I'm going to choose shades that are lighter than my skin tone from the palette and put it in the area that I want to bring more attention to. To add even more attention and more impact, I'll choose a shade that maybe has a little pearl or shimmer to it because it's going to do that job even better. So I hope this all makes sense. Just think about your skin tone as a baseline. Think about the direction you want that eye to go. Think about if there's anything that you want to camouflage or take attention away from, and use those concepts to help you strategize your placement. I promise you, it makes it super easy.
Thank you, Danessa. Hey, it's makeup artist James Vincent here in New York, and I am so excited to show you some of my favorite ways to use the perfect eyeshadows. With this collection of shadows, LimeLife by Alcone, you can do anything you need to do. And whether it is putting together some of your favorite colors or playing with all of these different shades, one thing that this collection allows you to do is to shape and structure, line and define. And I thought I would show you on some face charts how you can use highlight shades, darker tones, and medium tones to create those contours and highlights that everybody loves. So Danessa and I have been playing with the perfect eyeshadow collection, and we pulled together a few combinations that I think every makeup artist or makeup lover needs to have in their kit. When you're putting together your essential shades, you want to make sure you have those lighter tones, those medium tones, and those deeper, darker tones. That's gonna allow you to highlight, to contour, to line, and define. But one of the things that Danessa and I love to do is to also bring in a black, deep, dark shade so that you can bring this anywhere you need to go, and also to play with a little texture that works for every skin tone. With this shadow selection, I'm playing with colors that work from light to medium tones, that work for daytime, and that work well with cooler skin tones. But as every perfect eyeshadow, you know, you can really push and pull and play with these for any look or any skin tone. I'm starting with a darker shade, and what that's gonna allow me to do is start building in some of my structure. And so I'm using a medium tone in a matte taupe shade. Taupe, from the lightest to the darkest skins, is always gonna look like a natural shadow. So these are perfect for starting to build in your structure and your shape. I'm bringing it into the crease back and forth like a windshield wiper, and you can do this on your eye. And what that's going to do is give you that beautiful contour. I'm also dropping a little shadow right below the bottom lash line, and that is going to allow me to go on with a liner, pencil, or a deeper shadow shade, or just leave it on its own. I'm also going to show you how you can use some of these taupe shades to start structuring and contouring. A lighter color is going to open something out, bring something forward, or make something look larger. A darker shade is going to recess something or make something look deeper or smaller. So we can really start to get some structure in that way. For my lighter shade, I'm working with a larger brush this time because I want you to see how that little bit of shadow right along the brow bone can start to add highlight. If you don't have a lot of space on the brow bone, or your eyes are closer together, you can also bring that lighter shade right into the inner corner of the eye, and you'll start to get some really beautiful shading. Once we've started to build our structure, then we can start to play. Everybody knows that those lighter colors look great on a brow bone for opening something up, but if you want an everyday look, throw that lighter color on the lid, and what that's gonna do is really open up the eye. What I'm gonna do is start to play with a little bit of texture and a firmer, denser brush. The firmer and denser a brush is, the more color it deposits. So this is a perfect brush to use when you are trying to get some impact. And you can see, even on the paper, how that lighter color just starts to buff everything into place. If you want to start to add a little daytime drama, or you need a little bit of definition, don't be afraid to go to those medium to dark tones. Right now, I'm putting the color just on the tip of the brush, and this is a great trick when you're defining a crease, because you only want to start to shape in a very soft way. What this is going to do is really allow people to see the shape of the eye. And whether you go in with a bold shade or a bright shade, or you keep it nude and natural, you're going to have an eye that looks open and well rested. One of the other things I love about these shadows is that you can use them for so many different things. So whether I'm using them for shadows or to structure below the cheekbone, there's a lot of possibility. And now I want to show you how I use them in the eyebrow. So I'm starting with the Perfect Eyebrow Pencil, and I'm just going to sketch in a little bit of hair. What brow pencil does is it provides volume. Because it's a little waxy, it sits on top of the skin. And it's a great way to get a very natural brow. And then you can use your perfect shadows and a small angled brush, and you can take the shade that is closest to your hair, or on the light or medium tone, and just start to sketch that into the brow as well. And what that's gonna do is provide depth for your eyebrow and help set that pencil into place. I love when shadows can really do double or triple duty, and these are such a beautiful selection of shadows for really allowing unlimited possibility. So now back down to the eye. I'm gonna keep this eye very soft, and I am gonna use a bit of eyeliner pencil just right along that bottom lash line to line and define. And then I can go into my deep warm tone and get a beautiful smoky daytime that works for any eye shape or any skin tone. If you want to put a little more drama into the crease, that same darker brown tone can go right in. And then for your face, you can just buff or blend it out with any type of soft shadow brush. I like to add an eye color to my face chart. So here, I'm making the eye brown. I'm gonna take the same brown shadow and use that to line and define along the top lash line. What I love about working with these shadows is the pigment applies so evenly and so beautifully that you really can manipulate it to be as soft and natural or deep and dramatic as you need it to be. To finish this daytime eye, I'm going right into my matte black shadow and I'm bringing that even closer to the lash line. The reason we line the eyes is to make the lashes look longer, and by dropping a little bit of black shadow really tight into your natural lash line, you will get a summer look that looks incredible. And as you go into your fall or winter months, that lash presence really allows you to create an unforgettable eye look. Black mascara is the perfect partner to these darker shades, and so I'm using a black marker just to get some lashes into place. And then I can go on and finish this look with a few of my favorite perfect blushes. With this look, I wanted to use this selection of shadows that combine those light, medium, and dark tones and that bold black to show you how easy and effortless everyday makeup can be. With this selection of shadows, Danessa and I wanted to combine some of our favorite colors for medium to dark or deep skin tones. This is also an excellent selection of colors for warmer skin tones or any makeup wearer that wants to do something that maybe is a little bit more dramatic for nighttime or just to get a bolder look. We're combining, once again, those light tones, those medium tones, and those deep tones, and bringing in black because everybody needs that little black shadow in their makeup wardrobe. We're also bringing in a bit of metallic shimmer. There is no easier way to bring in a bit of glamour or to open up an eye than to bring in that soft, beautiful texture that the perfect eyeshadow selection has in some of their shimmer shades. So with this chart, I'm gonna start by building in a little bit of structure to the chart with some of my favorite bronzers. Just like with shadows, a lighter color is gonna open something up, bring something out, or make something look larger. So I'm using some highlight shades in the area where I want a little bit of glow. I'm also bringing in some warmth to the skin. Because this selection is perfect for those warmer skin tones, we really can play and bring a bit of bronze onto the cheek and wherever sun would hit the face. I love bronzer on the forehead, down the center of the nose, on the chin, and at the highest point of the cheekbone. And don't forget the neck and the deck. When it comes to starting your shadow application, a lot of people like to start with the lighter shades. A lighter color is gonna open something up, bring something out, or make something look larger. In this selection, we're using a lighter color that has a beautiful warm golden tone, and bringing those golden tones onto the skin is gonna allow you to get a look that feels warm and glowing and fresh. I'm also going to dip into the same selection of shadows and start to build in my brow. Here I'm using a warm brown and an auburn shade combined. I love an ombre brow because what it actually starts to do is give a little bit of length. So if you are someone who is missing hairs or wishes that you had a more dramatic brow, you can combine two of your favorite perfect shadow shades and sculpt that brow right into place. That same brow tone is going to do triple duty because I'm going to bring the same color into the outer corner of the crease and right along the top lash line. When you have shadows that are so versatile, they really allow you so much potential in your look, so don't be afraid to play. For this warmer look, I'm going to use my medium tone, and I'm using a firm, dense brush. I want to build some impact from this look. When you're working with a firm, dense brush, don't be afraid to let the color get on there. Here I'm working with the flat of the brush. I'm tapping off the excess, and then I'm working it right on the lid from crease to lash. This warm tone is so beautiful with any eye color because what it's going to do is bring out all of that golden fleck. For this look, I'm keeping the focus of the look on top of the eye, so I'm not bringing anything below the bottom. And so what I'm going to do to finish it very simply is to go in with my black shade. By bringing that black shade right along the lash line, I'm working over the brown shadow that I had always put down. A little trick for working with black shadow: if you are nervous or you are not sure where you want to add that line, draw a brown or taupe line first. Not only will this give you a great guide, but it allows you to layer up the color, which will give you depth and dimension and give you that editorial look that you love from your favorite celebrities on the runway or the red carpet. Not every look needs to feel overly dramatic, and sometimes just combining this selection of color will give you a look that feels fresh. If you want to add a little more drama, one of my favorite tricks is to bring in some texture. Anything reflective is going to really open up the eye, and so I'm using this warmer satiny shimmer shade, and I'm bringing that right into the inner corner of the eye. Now the texture doesn't really show on flat paper, but when you pop that on the skin, what it's gonna do is reflect and refract light and make sure that your eyes look open and all eyes are on you. I'm gonna finish this look off with a warm nude glossy lip. When you are working with these nude tones, it's very easy to choose your blush and lip shades because one trick that we know with makeup is monochromatic is always gonna work. If you're working with any skin tone, even playing with your blush with this shadow collection is going to feel really fun for you. The trick to remember with blush is it's all about placement. If you're working with anything orange or coral or peach, it doesn't matter how bright or how soft the shade is, that's gonna go to the higher point of the cheekbone where heat would rise. Pinks, reds, anything that looks like blood flushing to the surface, you're gonna bring closer to the apple of the cheek because that's where that flush would happen. And when I combine that with a little bit of bronzer, I really get a sun-kissed look any time of year. And then you can choose your favorite lip pencil and just start to structure a beautiful warm lip look that complements that eye. Warmer nude shades are essential for any medium to deep or dark skin tone because those allow you to bring in shape and structure. And because these shadows are so perfectly pigmented, you don't have to worry about them looking ashy or getting muddy. They simply are going to allow you to be able to play with any of your favorite colors and know that these nudes have built all of the structure and shape that you need. Whether you're using them alone or combining them with your favorite shadow palette, they're going to leave you feeling like your makeup always looks masterfully applied.
Now that we know how to perfectly shape our eye, let's talk about choosing our eyeshadow shade based on our eye color. Now, if you're someone with brown eyes out there, you should be clapping and doing a dance right now because brown eyes can wear any shade under the sun. That's the blessing of you brown-eyed beauties. So thinking about our concepts from earlier, with brown eyes, you want to think about how much drama you want to have, and also think about what colors can give a nice contrast and bring out those beautiful brown eyes. Here's an example of some shades that will really complement someone with brown eyes. You have a shade to kind of ground your eye look, like higher ground. What about a shade that will lift your eye? Remember we talked about maybe putting it at the brow bone or the inner corners of the eyes. I think a shade like Rise Up will be perfect for that. And now you have that color to create that impact and contrast. Make a few waves. How about the shade Oasis? Now this shade Oasis can work beautifully brushed across the lid, or if you want to play it a little safe, use it as an accent in the inner corners of your eye, or maybe even to line your eye. You can have fun and play with lots of variations of these shades because you have a matte tone to lift, you have a shimmer to bring a little bit of life, you have a shade to ground your look, and a tone to add a little impact. this beautiful blue, perfect for brown eyes.
Thanks, Danessa. For all of the brown-eyed beauties, this is a great way to play with shadow. You know, if you have brown eyes, really, you can make any color work. But what Danessa and I wanted to do was select some certain shades that are gonna give you a real wow with those brown eyes. So I'm gonna start with some of the essential shades just to bring in my brow and some structure. I'm gonna go with a deep brown, dark brow here. And don't be afraid to adjust your eyebrows intensity for the eyeshadow look that you're wearing. If you're wearing a softer, more subtle shadow look, you can pull off a more dramatic brow. If you really want people to focus on that sexy smoky eye or something more dramatic, pull the brow back and really just brush some color through it. The Perfect Brow Gel is an excellent way to get shape and hold with a softer brow look. For this brown shadow look, what I thought I would do is show you something subtle that kind of has a sexy nod to the past. With a lot of fashion trends right now, we're seeing a look back to eyeliner, but you don't always have to make your liner look so dramatic. As a makeup artist who's worked a lot in the music industry, I'm very well known for my cat eye looks, and so I thought I would show you how to play with a cat eye and some color. I'm starting with a soft vanilla shade, and I'm bringing that right into the brow bone and right into the center of the lid. A lighter color in the lid is an old Hollywood trick called the showgirl eye. By bringing a lighter color onto the lid, not only does that become a base shadow that will help to hold everything else in place, it really gives you a look where the eye is more open. Next, I'm going in with a warm brown tone. With a warm brown tone on a brown eye, what you're going to get is that depth and dimension. Brown eyes tend to be made up of flecks of every color, and by bringing a deep chocolate brown into the crease, you're going to get a little bit of depth that adds to the drama, or a little definition for a more natural look. For this look, I'm keeping all of the shadow above the lash line, but you can also smoke this out for a lot of different looks. And here's my little trick when we're working with blue. When you're lining the eye with any color, but especially with a jewel tone or a deep dark bold shade, you want to get that lash look in before you add on your shadow. Whether you're working with pencil or an eyeliner pen or your favorite shadow as a liner, you want to get that color down before the other shadow, because if you don't, your shadow is going to be diminished in impact by the shadow that's already in place. So what I'm doing is taking my beautiful bold jewel tone blue and I'm lining that on the lash line. I'm starting right at the inner corner of the eye and working my way out. If your eyes are closer set, you will want the widest part of this line at the outer corner. If your eyes are wider set, the inner corner should have the widest part of the line. And when you're working with a cat eye, what you want to do is take your small angle brush and simply make that triangle from the outer corner and just connect that line that you've already started. If you want to add a little more drama to your cat eye, you can pull it up from the bottom as well. For something softer or more subtle, you can line just the top. And to finish this look, I'm going in with a firm, dense brush and a warm antique gold shimmer shadow. With this gold shadow, I'm just gonna wash it very subtly onto the lid because I really want the star of the show to be this blue line. This look is easy for anybody to wear, regardless of age or eye shape or skin tone. And that's what I love about the Perfect Shadow collection. It really is not something that limits you in any way. If you want to add more drama into this look, you can work with the Perfect Eyeliner Pen. The Perfect Eyeliner Pen is the ideal size for getting that gorgeous cat eye. As a makeup artist, I've worked with everybody from Amy Winehouse and Joan Jett and so many iconic cat eye looks. And the trick to mastering the cat eye is to work with a tool that allows you to get that sharp shape. And whether you choose to work with the blue shadow alone or add the perfect eyeliner pen over it, this is a great look that gives you drama without being too makeup heavy. I'm gonna pair this look with a nude lip and a soft blush. And if you really want to add a little bit of trend to this beautiful brown eye look, we are looking back to the 90s. I used to do a lot of music videos back in the day, and one of the things that was a favorite makeup application was a bold brown lip liner. And what we're seeing today is a return to that look. So I am gonna go in over my nude lip and just play with that. And one of the things that I love about trend when it comes to makeup is that you really can play and make it your own. My last tip with this brown eyeshadow selection, if you really want to bring across that cat eye, add in some perfect mascara only to the top lash line. And what that's going to do is open it up and tie it all together and leave you looking like a superstar.
Now, if you're a blue-eyed beauty, I've got something special for you. When you have blue eyes, there's so much magic there already, and you would like to pick shades that are in contrast to your blue eyes. As an example, blue eyes with blue eyeshadow and an even deeper blue eyeshadow probably will not be the way to go. With blue eyes, you want to think beautiful browns, rich brown tones that'll really make those blue eyes pop. Let me give you an example. If I had blue eyes, this would be a beautiful palette. There's so many different ways that you can shape the eye and also create intensity with these colors. As an example, Rise Up is a perfect shade that you can sweep over your entire lid, including your brow bone, and then use this rich brown to ground your look and add intensity around those blue eyes at the lash line, using this as maybe a liner or to smolder at the top of your lashes. If you want to add a little bit more impact, adding a little bit of a pearl would be beautiful, and this shade Phoenix works perfectly. It's an orangey brown with a little bit of shimmer that can sweep beautifully over the entire lid, or use to just create a little bit of impact at the inner corners of your eye. If you really want to go there and jazz it up a little bit, create a little bit of intensity without being too dark, but have a little bit of flavor and drama around those eyes, I would take a shade like this. This shade is called Good Karma. Sweep Good Karma over your entire lid, and then take Phoenix and add that to the inner corners or maybe smolder underneath the eye. That will really make those blue eyes pop in a way that's soft, subtle, and a little bit of sexy.
Thanks, Danessa. For this selection, I really wanted to focus on the wide range of shades of beautiful blue eyes. Whether you've got aqua eyes or icy blue eyes or something that is that deep pool of midnight blue, working with shadows on the opposite side of the color wheel is going to pull out all of those gorgeous shades. So I'm gonna start this with a highlight shade that has a soft yellow tone to it. And that little bit of yellow is gonna do some big work. You've heard me say a lighter color is gonna open something up, bring something out, or make something look larger. So I'm starting with a lighter color on the brow bone. If you have a brow bone that comes out far like mine does, then you really want to be sure you're pulling that lighter color down towards the inner corner of the eye as well. Once I have my highlight in place, I'm going in with my favorite claim to fame brow pencil. This shade is perfect from the lightest to the darkest skin for just sketching in subtle brows. And with your brow, you want to sketch in individual hairs. What that's going to do is allow you to frame the eye, frame the face, and provide expression. Your eyebrow should go from the inner corner of the eye to the outer corner of the eye, and that's going to tell you exactly where to play with your shadow shades. I started with my soft light yellow shade, and now I'm going in with a medium bronze tone. Bronze is a metallic shade that sits in the orange family. And what those yellow and orange colors are going to do for a blue eye is not only pull forward the blue, but also all of that green and gray and gold and bronze fleck that blue eyes tend to have. When you bring these shades next to a blue eye, they do so much to make the eye unforgettable. And whether you are working softly and depositing sheer color, or you're building up something more dramatic like I am, you don't have to think very hard, because with this selection of shadows, most of the work is done for you. The next color I'm working is a medium warm tone. And this rusty shade is so magnetic. I love this auburny shade in the brow or as liner, but here we're using it just in the crease. I'm working with a firm, dense brush because I'm working on a face chart, but I would suggest that you work with a brush that is a little bit softer. Something like the number 10 brush is ideal for applying this color onto the eye because it buffs and blends beautifully, allowing people to see your actual eye and not just your makeup. I'm gonna use this blue shadow selection to create a gorgeous smoky eye. Here I'm using a cool, deep, rich brown shade. By combining these cool browns and warm browns next to this gold and bronze metallic, you are going to effortlessly apply 4 shadow shades that bring out every bit of blue that you want people to see. With a smoky eye, most of the color is saturated along the lash line. What I suggest doing is using your deep brown shadow right along the lash line and then smudging it or smoking it out. And then you can go in with your black Enduring eyeliner pencil and get that black right on the waterline. With a smoky eye, the darkest and deepest bit of color is saturated at the waterline and then dissipates up and down to provide that smoky look. The modern smoky eye was originally designed and called the Gucci eye, and it was designed to be an eye that works on everyone. And I think when you see this sexy smoky eye, you will know that regardless of age or eye shape or skin tone or makeup ability, this blue eye smoky look is going to be one that you love. Whether you've got an icy blue eye, an aqua blue eye, or something deeper and darker, pairing this smoky eye with a lip and cheek in the orange family is going to give you a look that works every time. Here I'm using a bold orange blush at the highest point of the cheekbone, and then a softer peach shade towards the apple of the cheek. You can combine that with bronzer or a highlighter, but I love that flush of color on its own. And for the lip, I'm also going to play with something in the orange family. A warm golden smoky eye paired with an orange lip and a coral cheek with a lot of lash and a soft brow is a look that will never go out of style and work for anybody.
Now for those gorgeous hazel eyes. If your eyes are hazel, you can live in the world of plums and purples. Live your best life exploring. Purples and plums are the best complement for hazel eyes. Let me give you an example. This shade, Dynasty, the perfect shade for adding smolder around those beautiful hazel eyes. For a delicate impact, maybe for an afternoon out, use this shade Dynasty as a liner, as a soft smolder. It's the perfect complement to bring out those greenish brown flecks in your hazel eyes. Gilded Lily is a great shade for a wash of color over the entire lid, or an accent color for the inner corners of the eye, either at the top of the lid or in the inner corners of your liner. That rosy, plummy tone will really open up those eyes, and all the attention is gonna get to that hazel. Pink Happy Thoughts is a perfect shade for a wash of color over your entire lid. It's an easy way to think about doing a smoky eye. If you want a soft smoky eye, you'll take Pink Happy Thoughts, brush it over your entire lid from your brow bone to the base, and then choose any one of these other beautiful purpley plum tones to smolder close to your lash line. If you're feeling a little bit more frisky, You can take one tone, a matte tone, the shade Justice would be perfect, and sweep that across the crease of your eye. And then use Dynasty as your liner shade, the deepest tone closest to your lash line.
Thanks, Danessa. Hazel Eyes. Hazel Eyes mostly consist of brown and gold and green, but the thing that you have to remember with Hazel Eyes is they really can change depending on your mood or the lighting or the environment, and definitely depending on the makeup that you're wearing. With this eyeshadow selection, Danessa and I wanted to go to the opposite side of the color wheel from those browns and greens and grays, and so we're working with violets and purples and all of the colors in that family that really allow your hazel eyes to pop. I'm gonna start by structuring in my brow first with this hazel eye, and I'm going back to my essential shadow selection and working with a cool and warm brown tone. And I'm just sketching in a really soft brow for this look. I thought what I would show you today is a more dramatic look for the hazel eye that really allows you to see those gorgeous color combinations that are in there. This soft pink shade is one of my favorite in the LimeLife by Alcone shadow selection. It works well for most skin tones and any eye shade, and it's gorgeous as a base shadow or as a highlight. Sheer it out or build it up, and you'll get the most beautiful color to work from. I'm using this color all over the eye from brow to lash, from the outer corner to the inner corner. What that's going to do is really give me a perfect palette to work on. Next, I'm going in with a soft violet shimmer shade. Not only is this color going to pull everything forward, but this texture is so beautiful for making an eye look larger and adding life or lift, even on those days when you're feeling tired. I'm starting with this soft shimmer shade at the inner corner of the eye, and I'm working it towards the outer corner. Wherever I put my brush down is my strongest deposit of color, and I really want the impact on this shade to be towards the inner corner of the eye. Next, I'm working with a darker shimmer shade, and this is a beautiful aubergine with a soft, smoky shimmer to it. And what this color is going to do is give you so much impact. It's almost as if you combined a few different shades. This duochrome shadow has bits of gray and purple and blue and brown. And by bringing that to the outer corner of the eye, we're going to make sure that everybody sees the gorgeous hazel that makes up this eye. This matte medium tone is also in the purple family, and it's going to allow us to shape and structure. So I'm using this shade as my crease, and I'm also using it as my liner. By combining these beautiful colors and these different textures, what you're doing is getting an elevated eye look in such an effortless way that even someone who's afraid to play with makeup will feel like an accomplished makeup professional. I'm using my medium matte shade to underline and define the eye and give me a soft, smoky look. And then my pro tip, I'm taking my lightest shimmer shade and I'm popping it right at the inner corner of the eye. And this is gonna give you a modern smoky that works for daytime or nighttime, but also allows any eye shape to be able to wear a smoky eye without worrying that they're making their eye look smaller or closing the eye up. Hazel eyes have so much possibility for color, and by choosing to go to the opposite side of the color wheel in our shadow selection, we're making sure that the shadow is doing all the work of bringing that hazel eye forward. I'm going to finish this look by working with a lip and cheek in the same color family. This smoky eye that uses shades in the violet and the purple family is gorgeous for hazel eyes or rarely any eye shade. What I've done is combine this with lip and cheek in the same family, creating a monochromatic makeup look. And one thing that you can always count on is monochromatic makeup is always going to work. This is a look that will leave everybody so excited about your hazel eyes, you won't want to stop playing with this eyeshadow selection.
Now, if you have green eyes, I've got a perfect solution for you. You would look fantastic in rosy, more burgundy type tones. Let me give you an example. If I had green eyes, I'd be racing towards this mirage. This beautiful, rich burgundy shade will look great smoking out an entire eye, or as an accent liner either on top of your lash line or on your bottom lash line. It's a beautiful tone that's in great contrast to a green eye to add drama and impact. Rose-colored glasses is an awesome solution. Maybe you're going for brunch. You want to meet the girls for lunch. You want to have a little bit of fun with your eyes but not do too much. Sweep this over your entire lid for a rosy flush that will be a great complement to green eyes. Now pastel me about it. Are you kidding me? This is the perfect way to lift your eyes, open them up, wake them up, lift up that brow bone. It's great to use this tone also as a wash of color over your entire eye, and any of the other shades in this quad can be used to create impact. So that's a really easy solution. Wash this one tone over the entire lid and choose any of these other 3 tones to add impact, a little drama, and in great contrast to your beautiful green eyes. Now the moral of the story is that this shade is perfect for carving out a beautiful crease, or maybe pulling out at the outer corners to give a delicate smoky look to your eye. You can have fun and mix and match any of these 4 shades to really add impact and complement those beautiful green eyes.
Thank you, Danessa. Green eyes are so gorgeous when paired with any range from the Perfect Eyeshadow collection, but the selection of colors that Danessa and I put together here really play with the idea of subtlety and how you can use these very sheer, soft shades and still get gorgeous impact with any eye shade. With a green eye, what I really wanted to do was show you the power of complementary color. With Hazel Eyes, I showed you monochromatic and how impactful and exciting a monochromatic eye look can be, and green and hazel eyes really play in the same world. But with the green eye, I thought it would be so fun to go with bold complementary color. Complementary color is playing with color from the opposite side of the color wheel. So in every aspect of this makeup, I want to go in that direction. I'm starting with one of my shadows that I consider essential, which is a warm auburn shade. And those hints of red and brown are really going to, even on its own, start to pull that green forward. With such a dramatic color choice in the eyebrow, I am gonna keep the shadows really soft, and I'm starting with this beautiful vanilla bone shade. This shadow selection, of course, works for any eye color, but Danessa and I selected it specifically to bring those gorgeous greens forward. Don't be afraid to play with color, and don't be afraid to try different textures. Here, I'm starting with this soft matte shade, but my second shade is going to be this gorgeous champagne pink shade, and I am bringing that all over the lid from crease to lash. Not every eye makeup look needs to be dramatic, and not every makeup wearer wants to have so much drama in their look. And when you're selecting the right shades, you can simply wash one shadow, any of these 4 colors that we've selected, on the eye, and even that one shade alone will do everything you want it to do. But when you start layering color, and you start seeing how exciting it is when these colors start to play together, you really start to see the power of eye makeup. Now I'm bringing in a medium matte tone, a soft pinky brown that I love for any skin tone. And I'm using that color in the crease and at the lash line. Here I'm making the crease a little more dramatic because I'm keeping the eye look so simple. Because I'm working on a face chart, I'm working with a small angled brush, but when you're applying this yourself, you can really use a soft buffing brush. And then I'm taking my violet shimmer shade that's on the medium to dark side, and I'm just working that at the outer corner of the eye to give me some added dimension. And I'm going to pop the same medium tone shimmer just really softly under the lower lash line. Now this isn't going to give me a smoky look or even anything that's dark or dramatic. All it's going to do is give me a really soft frame so that everyone will see that gorgeous green that we want to bring forward. Finish this off with a sheer coat of mascara and just tint the lashes, or build up a more dramatic lash for a classic Hollywood look. And this eye is so simple. What I'm going to do to complete this look is play with colors in the same family. So I'm using a bright red blush that I'm gonna stain onto the cheek. And then I'm also going in with my favorite red lipstick. For this green eye look, I showed you a soft shadow look paired with a bold red lip. And a lot of people don't think that they can carry off red, but everybody can. The trick is, if you cannot find that perfect shade of red, combine two of your favorites. Bringing together a blue red and an orange red will work every time. That combination is gonna whiten the teeth, brighten the eyes, and freshen up the skin, and leave you the green-eyed gorgeous envy of every other girl.
I hope this information was helpful. You can use these very simple tips and strategies to have fun just playing with your beautiful eye color and your amazing eye shape. Makeup is supposed to be fun, so just take all of the stress out of it and use these tips to reshape, restructure, and shine using your eyeshadow colors.